welcome to another flight experience with me. We are currently on our way to Mumbai's Terminal 1, from where we'll be catching a flight to Bengaluru. This time I'm flying on an airline that I hate the most. After a terrible experience with them previously, I decided to give them another chance after I learned a valuable lesson in my life about forgiving others and giving people another chance. I had pre-booked my seat 33A by paying an additional 250 rupees, which I regretted instantly. The ground staff offered me a free emergency exit seat. I thought the ground staff was offering me an overwing emergency exit seat. I didn't want any obstacles in my shot and I denied it, only to realize later that this aircraft actually had another emergency exit seat, which was not over the wing. Since I had left home without any food, I decided to buy a chicken roll, which was very average. The sights of Terminal 1 have become increasingly common given the frequency of flights I take from Mumbai. However, this time I found one interesting place. I always thought that flying out of Terminal 1 you couldn't get good flight spotting chances unless you were flying during the daytime. But this time I visited the food court at the end of the terminal and found out that not only did it offer a good view of the runway, but also comfortable and plenty of seating options. You can watch India's low-cost carriers in action. The Akasa flights you see are heading to Bengaluru and Ahmedabad before us. Here's our Boeing 737 MAX 8-200. The name sounds quite lengthy, doesn't it? But just like the name, this aircraft is slightly longer as well. I'll show you an interesting thing about this aircraft after we've boarded. The seats are in a 3-3 configuration, but there are additional number of rows. Owing to more seats and passengers, the aircraft also comes with an additional pair of emergency exits. Even though they are not in the galley, they are low-level emergency exits, unlike the overwing emergency exits. Here's our seat 33A for this flight to Bengaluru. Unlike the crew on my last flight, this crew was very kind. After noticing I was filming, the crew gave me a broad smile rather than frowning or acting repulsive. The seat is very basic and contains the safety card and the in-flight menu, but did not include any sickness bags. After a delayed pushback, we started preparing for takeoff.
इस विमान में 10 द्वार हैं, 2 एयरक्राफ्ट के पिछले विभाग में, 2 विंग्स के पीछे, 4 ओवर विंग्स पर और 2 आगे की ओर हैं। आपका निकटतम द्वार आपके पीछे भी हो सकता है। कैबिन में अंधेरा होने की स्थिति में ये एग्जिट पाथ लाइट्स आपको निकटतम द्वार तक पहुंचने में मदद करेंगी। आपातकालीन स्थिति में अपना सामान की परवाह ना करें और सबकी सुरक्षा को ध्यान में रखते हुए जल्दी जल्दी हो सके विमान से
Owing
बाहर
to the
निकलने की
darkness
कोशिश।
outside, let's skip to the takeoff. After banking left after the takeoff, the night scenes of Mumbai were mesmerizing. My camera wasn't able to capture a lot of light because of a small sensor size, but it indeed looked very beautiful. On board the flight, I ordered a tomato cheese pasta. The crew asked me to let it sit for 5 minutes before consuming. The sauce was juicy and delicious, but the pasta's texture felt very artificial. After this, we skipped to the approach, not only because it was pitch black outside, but also because I had a terrible headache, about which I'll be making another video. Welcome to Bengaluru Airport. We landed slightly later than the scheduled time, but given the traffic at Mumbai's airport, I can understand.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Do you see that extra emergency exit? My seat could have been there had I not been such a dunce. Welcome to Bengaluru Airport's Terminal 1, very modern and considerably larger. I really like the ambience and not going to lie, but I like it much better than Mumbai's Terminal 1. Speaking of this Akasa flight, apart from the fact that I experienced a terrible headache, the entire flight was smooth. My biggest complaint, the crew's behavior wasn't an issue at all, and apart from that, everything else went smoothly. The only thing that wasn't smooth was the landing. The landing on this flight had to be by far the hardest landing I've ever experienced. After this, I had to head to Bengaluru's Terminal 2 for another flight of mine, for which I decided to take the shuttle. I hope you enjoyed this flight. Stay tuned for more such videos.